Jennifer Lawrence has never been known for playing it safe, but during the press cycle for Don't Look Up, she crossed a line most Hollywood stars never touch. She told the truth out loud. In interviews and panel discussions, Lawrence peeled back the polished image of A-list filmmaking and revealed what working with Leonardo DiCaprio was really like. Her words weren't cruel or dramatic. They were blunt, specific, and impossible to ignore. When she described time spent filming with DiCaprio as hell, people leaned in, not because it was scandalous, but because it was honest. Lawrence wasn't attacking his talent or reputation. She was describing the lived reality of sharing space with one of the most powerful actors in the industry. What followed wasn't a takedown, but a rare glimpse into how ego, power, and unfiltered process collide on major film sets, and why even seasoned stars sometimes feel trapped by it. The moment that ignited everything came from what should have been a routine shoot, a simple car scene featuring Lawrence, DiCaprio, and Timothée Chalamet. On paper, it was easy. In reality, it became unbearable. Chalamet arrived energized, thrilled to be back on set after lockdown, filling the car with non-stop enthusiasm. DiCaprio, meanwhile, took control of the music, normal for someone of his stature, but didn't stop there. He launched into an extended breakdown of the song's meaning, its history, and why it mattered, continuing long after the point was made. Lawrence, stuck in the back seat, had no escape. What might have felt like dedication to DiCaprio felt like noise to her. She later mocked the moment publicly, not with anger, but with exhausted disbelief. The frustration wasn't about one song, it was about being trapped in someone else's unchecked process, amplified by power. What made Lawrence's comments land wasn't the complaint, it was who made it. She's endured intense shoots, high-pressure franchises, and notoriously demanding directors. Yet this single day stood out as uniquely miserable. That alone said something. Hollywood culture often treats discomfort as the price of greatness, especially when it comes from powerful men. DiCaprio's reputation for obsessive preparation has long been framed as genius. Lawrence's perspective reframed it as something else entirely, a lack of awareness. On a film set, power dynamics matter. When DiCaprio talks, people listen, whether they want to or not. His constant stream of ideas may be well-intentioned, but it leaves little room for others. Lawrence didn't accuse him of malice. She exposed a system where no one ever says, "That's enough." Her honesty cracked the illusion that intensity always equals brilliance, and reminded audiences how suffocating unchecked authority can be. That candor carried into deeper territory when Lawrence shared stories about physical and mental strain on set, moments that revealed how risky filmmaking can quietly become. She recalled an earlier production where she mistakenly took the wrong medication before filming and ended up disoriented during scenes. What's alarming isn't the mistake, it's that the machine kept moving. No one stopped the shoot. No one recognized something was wrong. The priority remained productivity, not safety. She described another instance on a later film where exhaustion and medication mishaps left her panicked and sleepless before a demanding scene. These weren't funny anecdotes. They were warnings. Large productions often push actors to function beyond reasonable limits, trusting adrenaline and professionalism to carry them through. Lawrence's stories revealed how easily that pressure becomes normalized, and how quickly concern turns into annoyance instead of care when schedules and money are on the line. Sitting beside DiCaprio during these conversations made the contrast even sharper. His response to these stories was calm, almost casual, suggesting how familiar such conditions are at the top of the industry. They joked about guarding sleep like survival gear, but beneath the humor was something unsettling. When exhaustion and impairment are treated as routine, the system has already failed. Lawrence wasn't framing herself as a victim. She was exposing how easily people fall through the cracks when the goal is to keep rolling at all costs. It also reframed her earlier frustration with DiCaprio. His non-stop commentary, his inability to disengage, wasn't just a personality quirk, it was part of a culture that rewards constant output and punishes silence. In that context, her irritation wasn't petty. It was a reaction to an environment where stopping, resting, or pushing back feels almost impossible. Things turned sharply personal when Lawrence directly challenged DiCaprio about his habits. Asked about his worst trait as an actor, he admitted he throws out ideas constantly, unfiltered, non-stop. Lawrence's response was immediate and cutting. She compared it to a broken clock being right twice a day. The room went quiet. The line wasn't cruel, but it was surgical. She was pointing out that volume doesn't equal value, and that flooding a set with thoughts doesn't automatically make the process better. DiCaprio had no real way to push back. The comment reframed his reputation from relentless genius to relentless presence. In contrast, Lawrence admitted her own flaw. She completely disconnects once filming ends, preserving her mental health but sometimes arriving underprepared. The exchange revealed two opposite survival strategies, and how neither is perfect, but one dominates because it comes from power. The conversation shifted again when Lawrence began probing DiCaprio's past, and the tone deepened. She connected his latest role, a former revolutionary, to his upbringing, hinting at the countercultural values of his parents. DiCaprio confirmed they were part of the radical movements of the era, growing up around activists who rejected authority and traditional systems. His childhood wasn't glamorous. It was marked by instability, poverty, and a constant awareness that survival wasn't guaranteed. Acting wasn't a dream, it was an escape. That context reframed everything. The hunger, the obsessive prep, the need to always be on. Silence once meant disappearing. Lawrence didn't accuse him, she connected the dots. His habits weren't random, they were learned. The non-stop talking, the over-explaining, the intensity all traced back to a childhood where proving value felt necessary every single day. When the topic turned to directors, Lawrence delivered one of her most uncomfortable truths. She spoke about working with David O. Russell, acknowledging his volatile reputation while explaining why she endured it. His style was harsh, blunt, and often demeaning, notes delivered as insults rather than guidance. Lawrence said it worked for her because of her background in competitive sports, where being yelled at felt familiar. But she was careful. She knew others hadn't fared as well. The industry often celebrates outcomes while ignoring damage. One person's success becomes justification for everyone else's suffering. Lawrence's story didn't excuse abusive behavior. It illustrated how easily it gets reframed as intensity when awards follow. By contrasting Russell with directors who foster trust and collaboration, she exposed a lie Hollywood tells itself, that cruelty is necessary for great art. Her experience showed it isn't. It's just tolerated. Even legendary directors aren't immune to adding pressure. When Lawrence asked DiCaprio what to expect working with Martin Scorsese, his answer overwhelmed her. Extensive film homework, full movies assigned for single scenes, physical media, obscure references, entire cinematic languages to absorb. For Scorsese, it's about depth and history. For actors, it's another weight added to an already demanding process. Lawrence's reaction wasn't disrespect, it was panic at the scale of expectation. Being an Oscar winner doesn't shield you from feeling inadequate when the bar keeps rising. The exchange highlighted how prestige doesn't erase pressure, it multiplies it. Preparation becomes a test of endurance, not just skill. DiCaprio reassured her it would be worth it, but the moment revealed something essential. Even at the highest level, actors are still scrambling to keep up, afraid of falling short in systems that never slow down. In the end, Lawrence's most revealing comments weren't about DiCaprio at all, they were about Hollywood itself. From relentless schedules to body expectations placed on women after childbirth, she exposed an industry that demands perfection without pause. Her honesty wasn't bitterness, it was clarity. Male stars are allowed to age, evolve, and be eccentric. Women are expected to recover, adapt, and remain flawless on command. Lawrence's willingness to say these things, publicly, calmly, without apology, is what made the conversation resonate. She didn't tear DiCaprio down. She held up a mirror to a system that rewards excess, excuses harm, and confuses endurance with professionalism. What she revealed wasn't scandal, it was structure. And once you see it, it's impossible to unsee.